Hello, today my presentation will be on stress tolerance and how professionals within the workplace can manage that level of stress tolerance. Stress tolerance basically is just the threshold at which an individual can effectively and consistently deal with and manage stressful situations. Stressful situations could be a possible um, unforeseen occurrence or a situation or scenario at work that is unknown that pops up out of nowhere. It could be something from one's personal life, either a family member getting sick, dealing with stressors from an individual standpoint. Maybe one is experiencing relationship issues or an illness with a child, issues with your own health, stress, sleep. It could be a lot of different things that inhibits one from being able to readily manage their stress tolerance. Stress is typically just a normal facet of life. We all experience stress. I think for the biggest, the most significant reason would be that we all deal with stress in different ways. It's a normal biochemical reaction, and what occurs is our prefrontal cortex of the brain secretes and regulates a stress hormone called dopamine. And that dopamine, it just typically is a big part of our unique human ability to think and plan. So it helps us to come up with ideas and think and plan. Stress can be beneficial. It also could be a deterrent because it impairs cognitive function if there are high levels of stress. It affects one concentration. It also interferes with home and work relationships as well. It could also possibly in the future, if this continues as chronic stress, it leads to detrimental future health risk. So knowing how to deal with stress is very important. Chronic stress is basically anxiety, depression, heart disease, sleep deprivation, and digestion. So this is why there is much importance put on the fact that one needs to adequately get enough sleep and know how to manage that stress level when those impeding things come into play. Sometimes, we as individuals are readily able to, I would say, identify and know what is causing us those stressors. Then there are other times when we're kind of left in the dark and we have to dig deep and identify what is actually the core of the problem, because there could be underlying or overlying causes to why we are feeling the way we're feeling. But it's a normal facet of life. Just have to know how to balance it, including overstress. Overstress in the past was considered a mental illness. It included an overbearing workload, family responsibilities, which would be a heavy load, and then unwanted personal transitions. So things in life, especially with change, they're very hard, and it puts a level and amount of stress on your body that sometimes is unknown. I know for me, example, um, I've been having issues with my computer lately, and last night I had a complete meltdown because I was attempting to do the assignment, um, and my computer, it just kind of would not charge for me. It wouldn't allow me to do anything. And this caused me grave stress because I like to stay up on my assignments. I like to prepare instead of lagging behind or procrastinating. I'm not a procrastinator. And so this caused me much stress. It caused me stress to the point where I wasn't able and readily able to sleep last night. And so this morning I'm noticing, or identifying with myself that I'm tired. I am still a little bit stressed out and still a little bit anxious and worried, but I identify um, with these things, and so I'm able readily, as I move forward throughout my day and I go to work in a couple hours, I'm able to just identify with those things and try to keep my stress level to a minimum as much as possible. And for me, this is extremely difficult. As I've stated before, I have a mood disorder, and so sometimes my self awareness of my moods is not always at its best. Um, and so this for me causes major, major disruptions in my personal life, day to day. And then stress tolerance, basically, you want to be able to withstand these adverse and stressful events. These events, when it comes to stress tolerance, there could be physical or emotional, but one has to know how to cope effectively. So there are coping skills that one can look towards. One way is to be resourceful and effective. Come up with methods that you can use when you do get stressed out. And these may be just individual to you. They might not work for everybody else, but then you know how to institute them within yourself. This gives you a sense of control and a sense of influence over your feelings and your capabilities moving forward in the workplace and at home. And one way to raise stress tolerance, according to Goodman, is that each person has an optimal level of stress that they actually enjoy. It makes work exciting and engaging, but when we pass that level, stress becomes detrimental, leading to physical pains and poor decisions. And I can say that this is very true. One needs to, when you are going under stress, find an opportunity and a challenge. Look at how this situation could challenge you to do better in the future. Look at the bigger picture of things. Look at the bigger scheme and build in recovery time. Give yourself ample and proper amount of time to recover from that stress, because one needs time to, you know, for that downtime to process that. And then other suggestions would be just, as again, examples would be to unwind. Try activities like sports, text-free relaxation, computer-free, phone-free, volunteer for organizations that you feel, you know, empowered by, proliferated with. Do yoga, meditation, reading. And then again, another important aspect is just getting that necessary amount of sleep a night. I can't stress enough that the sleep is probably the most important, because if one does not get enough sleep, that causes major disruptions. It throws me off of whack, honestly, if I don't get enough sleep. And then factors that influence our stress tolerance are our support network. This is our friends, our family, our mentors, our managers, our leaders. Those are people we can go to that we need when we need help to balance our stress tolerances. It also includes our attitude, our outlook on how we're dealing with our stress, and our ability to deal with our stress when it, springs about. We have to know how to deal with these things without adequately knowing how to deal with these. It suggests that one has not mastered that level of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, as it applies to stress tolerance, is just that level of self-awareness that I have the ability to handle my stress, and I have the tools that I need to handle it. I know one thing for employers that they can do to help their employees to alleviate stress is, one way is just by changing the environment, helping to create an environment that is stress-free. One way you can do this is by hanging attractive art on the walls, or bringing in fresh planter flowers that help to stimulate the environment, help the environment to be as stress-free as possible. This even includes, employers even being more flexible with the work schedule, allowing flexibility when employees want a day off, or to change or modify the schedule. These things all correlate and help employers, help the workplace, help individuals alleviate that stress and to maintain stress tolerance. One thing I liked that I found was basically a way to improve stress tolerance was just to not be afraid of the stress. Don't run from it. Recognize the stress and name it. Focus on what's important. Take action, even if that means changing one attitude. And for me, this is essential. Make time to recover. Practice yoga or other meditation stress relievers, and then also get support from mentors, family, friends, etc. But for me, the most important was take action, even if it means changing one attitude. And I can personally say that when I am met with stressful situations, I do not have the optimistic attitude that one should have when trying to approach and get over that stressful situation. I wallow in that stress, and that is one of the things that I'm trying to master with this class. Last night I wallowed in the fact that My computer wouldn't charge. What am I going to do? How am I going to get my assignment done? Am I going to have enough time to go to the library and use other resources that within my community to finish the assignment? I was bombarded with all of these things that just caused me grave stress. Again, like I stated, I didn't get sleep last night. This affected me in the most profound way because I can even feel it with my body. I'm not readily relaxed right now. I'm doing the best that I can to just move forward. And this is what stress tolerance is. And so I readily acknowledge and see these things in myself. I really enjoyed this chapter this week because it really helps to show me that once I take the time to think and plan effectively and have that level of emotional intelligence that I can handle and solve my problems myself, that is very empowering. I thank you for listening to the presentation, and hopefully we can all gain more attributes as it goes to maintaining our level of stress tolerance in the workplace and within our personal lives. Thank you.